Welcome back. We're moving on to the Punch. Governors in fresh move to delay implementation. Local government plans to get October allocation from Federation accounts as NULGE others urge enforcement. LG poll, INEC withholds register as Fubara Wike camps clash. NNPCL portal shut down delays petrol supply, according to marketers. PDP crisis, Oyinlola peace panel begins sitting Monday. Custom intercepts 682 M cannabis indica at Tinkan Port. Court hears Barbican FBN 5.4 billion shares, dispute October 21. 25 killed in Niger boat crash. National honors, House not inferior to Senate reps, tell federal government. What stories do we have in
I have good news. The federal government has announced the provision of new tax reliefs for offshore oil and gas production to boost investments in that sector. They also announced that if you are now importing key energy products and infrastructure, including diesel, feed gas, liquefied petroleum gas, compressed natural gas, electric vehicles, liquefied natural gas infrastructure, that's you are importing the things that can help them to
achieve the goal.
Achieve the goal in their business, other chains in the business. Clean cooking equipment, you will no longer be paying VAT. This is according to our Minister for Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy.
That's interesting.
And the statement was signed by the Director of Information and Public Relations, Mohammed Manga. And he said this initiative is, of course, to deepen Nigeria's offshore basin as a premier destination for global oil and gas investment and booster energy security and accelerate Nigeria's transition to cleaner energy sources. Also, the minister said that as from January 1, 2025, small businesses will no longer be required to pay tax. They won't pay tax from that time. This is to ensure sustaining businesses and increasing employment for small businesses. But I read the story. I've not really finished to see the quota of what will qualify a small business. But we know what qualifies generally small businesses. Yeah,
so all of us. What I'm facing with auditor and FRS, I have to just be very humble right now.
You're not a small business, that's why.
So go and qualify.
Compost here every day.
As a small business.
You said that first, okay.
Thank you.
You're not a small business, sorry. Sorry,
If I give you some of your codes, you will know
I really hope
that you are not a small business.
I really hope that this, as they said, is designed to lower cost of living and boost energy security and accelerate Nigeria's transition to cleaner energy sources. You know, we're looking at CNG as one of the cleaner energy alternatives, and this cost of living, I hope Nigerians will not go and find backdoor the way they do these rice imports that they excluded. And now rice go enter 120.
Hey.
I hope that,
I've not bought rice since. Like, I'm going to warn them at home, please. I am measure. Don't cook anyhow rice and
from 80K.
Please.
80K. When
107. Somebody bought yesterday. I think that means 107. A bag of rice.
Is that the made in Nigeria rice?
Made in Nigeria is about 98,
no, it's
98, 100. It's costlier, but we still have some brands.
Okay, that's
I got a brand,
Let's continue.
We have another.
Okay, as we are talking, let's continue on the bad news. So
no. We reject news.
No, I
just
take your story. Take your story.
Sorry, no fewer than 25 people were confirmed dead after the boat capsized on Tuesday night in Niger State. So there were 300 people on the boat. They managed to rescue 100 people, and they're still looking. There were mostly women and children. They're still looking for others. So they found so far 25, and I think another 9 or so.
Wow.
But they're still looking for everybody. They said it occurred on the 1st of October around 8:30 p.m. They were going to They were going for the merriment for a holiday, and when the Mawlid celebration. So they
Mawlid don't pass. Ramadan is less than 6 months away.
Yeah, that's what they said they were going for. So I don't know.
Maybe it has happened since.
But you know, the reason we need to, as a government, really look into this boat travel.
Exactly.
Because people are going to continue to go by boat, and they are risking their lives. They said the boat was overloaded with 300 people. So there has to be real checks and balances on this thing.
Fixed measures there.
You know, if they don't do it, people are going to be hearing of things like this, and people ignorantly go into this. They do not know.
Without life jackets and everything.
Without life jackets. And a lot of these boat operators, I remember we went to Takwa Bay, not Takwa Bay, somewhere, Igbeshi, when my grandchildren were around, and they didn't want to give one of my grandchildren a life jacket. If you see the way my daughter
screamed.
You would insist.
I have never seen my daughter fight in public.
Now in Peking now.
Now in Peking.
A mother's fight is always a mother's fight. Let's move on.
And that's because she's from that side.
That's our hot topic.
If it's us, we'll say, okay, we'll manage. Nothing will happen.
No,
Boat without come and capsize.
So I have a story here. NNPC portal shut down delays petrol supply. Said all marketers have said that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited portal used to purchase petrol has been shut against dealers, making it impossible for them to apply for the commodity purchase. They said the marketers are awaiting over 90 million litres of petrol from the state-owned company, and this is valued at about 79 billion. Then they said that the marketers were complaining over their inability to order petrol. The NNPC had confirmed the shutdown of the purchasing portal to Punch correspondents last month. And according to the NNPC spokesperson, Olufemi Shoneye, said the company shut down the portal due to a significant backlog, and they explained that it became necessary to stop the NNPC from holding marketers' capital for so long. They are working very hard to see how they can, offset the backlog before they now begin to take in more customers. So what other stories do we have here? Let's move on now to Vanguard. Major headline: lawyer CSO's cake as hundreds of protesters rot in detention. Edo PDP protest governorship election results. Rivers local government polls, INEC, RSIEC disagree over voters register. Reps reject CFR demand, GCON, that's GCON honor for speaker. 150 fair dead in Niger boat mishap, 16 bodies recovered. YK are taking that story. Tinubu off to UK begins 2-week annual leave. Constitutional amendment, Atiku proposes rotational presidency, 5-year single tenure orders. Ondoguba, youth protests call for redeployment of REC. And Egoven gives conditions to lead Super Eagles full-time. Nobody likes football in this place. What stories do we have in the Vanguard?
Oh, yes, I have the story of the Rivers State concerning their local government election. There's been back and forth between the Rivers State, what's the full, RSIEC, that's the Rivers State Electoral Commission, the Residents Electoral Commission for Rivers State, as well as the one for INEC, and the controversy has been regarding the lists. So the INEC officials have said that, according to them, their job is to hold the registration of all the voters in Rivers State, and if there's going to be a local government election, they will then release the list to the Rivers State, their Rivers State counterpart. They've gone to court concerning this matter because the Rivers State board is waiting and they're expecting that they want to get this, the registered voters within Rivers State. They also feel like it should be updated, not the one that was used before. So they had gone to court and they've already gotten the Federal High Court in Abuja in a judgment on the 30th of September, which is just last week, which has barred the INEC, that's Independent Electoral Commission, from releasing the voters' registers to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission for the October 5th election. So there's supposed to be an election, local government election, this 5th of October. But they're going to court saying they want to get the registered voters list out. Whichever way, I just feel like by the time we're going back and forth in court, Rivers is trying to do something good, which is to conduct local government election. Whatever they will need to make them successful at that, INEC should give it to them, working hand in hand with the local body to ensure a peaceful election takes place on the 5th of October.
Do we have another story in the Vanguard?
Yeah, I have the major headline in the Vanguard. So, lawyer CSO's kick as hundreds of protesters rot in detention. They said about 2,412 protesters are held in 10 states, including the FCT, and they are asking the federal government to release most of these protesters unconditionally. The Vanguard took an inventory of some of them in the states where they are held, from about 10 held in, 40 were charged in Nasarawa. In Nasarawa, they had about 50 protesters arrested, 10 were minors, and those 10 were free. The other 40 adults were charged, and they're still in police custody. 109 were arrested in Sokoto. The Attorney General of the state said a lot of them have been granted bail, but the rest are still in custody. In Kaduna, they did not give a total figure, but 6 of the protesters arrested have been free. Kano, of course, significantly Kano, 600 people were arrested in Kano, including the 76 people who were trying to become Russian citizens just from a protest. And they said they were all transferred to, some of them were later transferred to Abuja. I think majorly the 76 Russians were transferred to Abuja, and the rest of them are still in custody. Most of the states were minors that were arrested that were granted bail, but the adults were still being held. 390 are waiting in Jigawa State to be granted bail.
Wow.
And so the figures are alarmingly increasing. But I don't expect that following the kind of protest that we saw in Kano, for instance, that they should just grant bail to everybody unconditionally. Some people came out to steal. So they should find the kind of charge that fits with the purpose they were arrested for. And, you know, they were protesting on guy alone, and they were just protesting. It makes sense. But those people who were vandalizing, somebody who was caught with a inverter battery on his head was not protesting. He was a thief. And I don't support, you know, the CSOs to just unconditionally free them.
It's well.
Okay, time don't go.
Yeah, time don't go. You had a story, or you didn't?
Don't worry.
Why can't you have a story?
I had a story.
Thank you, ladies.
Cannot be stressed.
That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we'll discuss our hot topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.